Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn in biology second PUC class. The first chapter is reproduction in organisms. So there are different kinds of organisms are found everywhere. Plants, animals, microorganisms, everything. Each and every organism has its own lifespan. That means they can live for a certain period of time. So that is nothing but lifespan. So what is lifespan? Lifespan is nothing but is a period from birth to the natural death of an organism is called lifespan. So generally this may ask for one more question, that is lifespan. So this lifespan is varies from species to species. It's not same. In lower organism, you can see a shorter lifespan, whereas in complex organism or in higher organism, lifespan somewhat more. Again, in case of plants, that is, there are different lifespan we can make out in different species. The lifespan is not correlated to their size. Say, some of the life organisms, the lifespan is given here is approximately, just see, elephant, it has a lifespan around 50 to 60 years. The dog has 10 to 13 years. Cow, 18 to 22 years. Crocodile has 60 years. Tortoise may live around 100 to 150 years. So like that, crow, 15 years, parrot 140 years, butterfly just 1 to 2 weeks. Then fruit fly. So fruit fly is nothing but Drosophila. So melanogaster, it may have a lifespan around 2 weeks. Then banana plant around 10 to 15 months. Then rose plant 5 to 7 years. So you can see different lifespan in different organisms. So just here, the size is not correlated. For example, crow and parrot, both are birds, they belong to the class Aves. Crow has 15 years of lifespan, but parrot 140 years of lifespan. Just both are birds and their size also same, but varies in lifespan. Each and every organism, they have a life cycle. First is a birth, then after birth there is a growth, senescence, that is nothing but aging, and finally leads to death. In between, after growth, there we can see reproduction. So we can see different varieties of plants and animals. They have been existed many years ago, but still we can see the plants, animals, the same plants and animals, for example, human beings. So that is mainly because of continuity. The process is called continuity. So here we are going to learn the topic reproduction. So why the continuity occurs in living organism is mainly because of reproduction. See, reproduction is a biological process in which organisms or individuals give birth to the young ones or offspring similar to itself. So that is similar to itself. For example, cat can give birth to the kitten, dog can give birth to the puppies, human being can give birth to the child or baby. Like that in case of plants, if you take mango seed, germinate, later it produces mango plant only. That means the organism that produce that is similar to the itself. So genetically somewhat similar, morphologically similar. So that is called as reproduction. So again may ask question, what is reproduction? So it's a biological process in which organisms or individuals give birth to the young ones or offspring similar to itself. So what is the significance of reproduction. So of importance of reproduction. Here, reproduction is necessary for continuity of species. That means species continue from generation after generation or several generations. So whatever the species now we can see because of the reproduction. Then maintenance of population. So particular population is maintained in particular area, that is because of the reproduction. For example, human population. So we can see the human population because of reproduction. Then genetic variation, which can inherit it generation after generation. So this genetic variation we can see mainly because of sexual reproduction. Mainly, there are two types of reproduction. So next coming to types of reproduction. So that means it's mainly based on their habitat. That means where they are found, whether they are found in aquatic or in water medium or terrestrial habitat. Then internal physiology, that means internal structure, internal functions of the organ, including hormones. Both in case of plants and animals, you know there are hormones are there that is responsible for reproduction. Then involvement of parents. So that means how many parents are involved in reproduction. There are two main types of reproduction. The first one is called asexual reproduction. A means absent. Sexual means the sex cells are not there. Asexual reproduction is a type of reproduction where the offspring are produced or young ones are produced by single parent with or without formation of gametes. So that is called as asexual reproduction. And this term is used mainly to the animals as well as lower protists, monerans, etc. Lower organisms. Then sexual reproduction. This is more complex, elaborate process. It's a type of reproduction where offspring are produced by two parents with the formation of gametes and fusion of gametes, and these gametes are produced by two different parents belongs to two different sexes. That means male and female. Male produce the male sex cell, male gamete, and female produce the female gamete. Then coming to asexual reproduction. As you know, this is formed, whatever the individuals, they are formed from a single parent. So whatever the organisms are formed or offsprings are formed, they resemble their parent. That is single parent only. And also all the offsprings resemble one another. There is no genetic variability. So we cannot see any changes in their structure, genetic variability. All the organisms are similar morphologically and genetically. Such morphologically and genetically similar organisms are called as clone. So that is called as clone. Clone is nothing but genetically, morphologically similar organisms that produced from a single parent. So one more question may ask. So why clones are genetically similar and morphologically similar? Because it is produced from a single parent. There is no recombination or there is no crossing over like in sexual reproduction. So it is formed from single parent. So there is no recombination of those. There is no formation of gametes. There is no union of gametes. Whatever the offspring formed, they resemble their single parent itself. So that is called as clone. Then we can say asexual reproduction in some organisms. Mainly asexual reproduction we can see in unicellular organisms, that is nothing but unicellular organisms or single cell organisms, protistal, monerals, etc. So commonly we can see mainly in lower organisms like amoeba, paramecium, etc. Cell division is the type of reproduction. So whatever the offsprings are produced, that is because of cell division. The parent cell undergo division and produce two daughter cells. Cell division is a simple method of reproduction, asexual reproduction. So there are other type of reproduction, asexual reproduction. One is fission. So fission is nothing but splitting a parent cell into daughter cells. From single parent cell, two cells are formed or more than two cells are formed. So anyway, fission is nothing but splitting of parent cell into daughter cells. There are two main types of fission. One is called binary fission and another one is called multiple fission. Bi means two. Mainly we can see in case of unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, etc. where you can see a single cell, that is a parent cell. First, nucleus divide into two. So first is divide into two. The process is called karyokinesis. Karyon meaning nucleus, division of nucleus. Next, the cell elongates. Construction is formed on either side of the cell, that is nothing but division of cytoplasm. The process is called cytokinesis. Finally, this cell produces two daughter cells. So that is called binary fission, that we can see in case of amoeba, paramecium, etc. Then multiple fission means the parent cell undergo division or splitting and produce many daughter cells. Multiple, that means many daughter cells, that is called as multiple fission. This we can see in case of amoeba, the unicellular organism. Then the another type of asexual reproduction is nothing but budding. So what is bud? Bud is nothing but small outgrowth. You can see in case of hydra, yeast, etc. Hydra belongs to coelenterates, yeast belongs to the fungus. So here you can make out a small outgrowth near the parent cell. Then finally this bud detached from the parent develop into new individual. So that is nothing but budding. You can see in case of yeast also, a small outgrowth is formed in unicellular fungi, that is called yeast. Then that bud separates from the parent one. The process is called budding. Then in case of algae, we can see some spores. The spores are called zoospores. Zoospores are nothing but motile spores. They possess the flagella that we can see in Chlamydomonas, the algae called Chlamydomonas. Many motile spores are formed within the algae itself, that is called zoospores. Zoospores are motile spores from which they reproduce. Then in case of Penicillium notatum, that means the first antibiotic was extracted called penicillin. So that fungus, Penicillium notatum, possesses the asexual structure called conidia. So conidia are nothing but a kind of spores. You can make out here conidia. So these spores detach, develop into an individual, a new individual itself. Then gemule formation in case of sponges. Sponges belongs to phylum Porifera, freshwater sponge, spongilla, where gemmules are formed. So endogenous, whereas budding is exogenous. That means that is formed outside the parent's body. So all these are nothing but the units mainly in lower organisms, mainly animals, some lower animals as well as Monera, Protista, etc. The next term is used called vegetative propagation. So this vegetative propagation is used in case of plants. So mainly the term is used in case of plants. Here the units are involved in reproduction, vegetative propagation. The vegetative propagation units are called vegetative propagants, like rhizome, sucker, offset, bulb, adventitious buds. So all these are called vegetative propagants. So here you can see potato. So potato has eyes. You can make out the eyes. So from the eyes, new plantlets arise. So that means in case of potato, eyes are the vegetative structure. Then in case of ginger, banana, rhizome is the vegetative structure. Where these two, potato tuber and rhizome, they are the modification of stem, where you can see the nodes and internodes. When the nodes come in contact with the soil, they produce the plantlets. So hence, these are the units of vegetative propagation. Then bulbil, this is the structure in case of agave. The plant that is called agave, a small bulbil is formed. Later, it detached, developed into new plant. Then marginal buds or leaf buds or adventitious buds in case of Bryophyllum controversial. So that is Bryophyllum, where we can see the marginal buds are adventitious buds. Then offset in case of water hyacinth. So Iconia or water hyacinth, where you can make out the offset. This is a unit of vegetative propagation in case of water hyacinth. So bulb in case of onion. So onion bulb. So that is involved in vegetative propagation. Then this water hyacinth generally called as terror of Bengal. Terror of Bengal. It was introduced in India because of its beautiful flowers, then the shape of the leaves. So the growth is somewhat more, the rate of growth is more. Suddenly it occupies almost all the water bodies, mainly found in stagnant water, drains the oxygen and causes the death of fishes and other aquatic animals. Hence, water hyacinth is called as terror of Bengal. So here some of the questions may arise, like what is lifespan, what is reproduction, what is the type of reproduction, or what is vegetative reproduction, what is asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, then units in sexual, maybe vegetative propagation. Some examples may ask, or name the types of reproduction in case of lower organisms, or name the structure involved in sponge during asexual reproduction. Such questions may arise. Even the lifespan of some organisms may ask in the exam. So this is regarding reproduction in organism, the first part. Thank you, students. So next is the sexual reproduction. We'll learn in the next class.